Okay, so we're back and I'm looking here. We have so far in our repertoire and, or, and the negation are things we can do to start to evaluate some of these items in our truth table dealing with the binary options of true and false. And I'm going to say that we want to find, for example, something like this. What are the things we can look at? A or B, A and B, the negation of A, those are all done. Now I want to look at this one. Negation of A and B, where that's in parentheses. And I'm going to have to show you the process of getting that done, and then we'll get an answer for what that winds up being as one group of 4 consecutive letters where order counts in their answer. So we're going to come along to get that done. And then I can have A or negation B. And let's really swing for the fences and go A and B or negation A or B. And we'll close that out. And that's what we're going to get. We're going to get one result when we're done with this. How do we go after doing this? This is already set up for you. I don't expect you to always be building your own truth table from scratch. You do have access to information about how to do it, but here's what we've got. I've come up with these rules to get you through how to do this. Number 1, take any negation as soon as possible, which is as soon as it is of a single value. Another concept that so if you can't take a negation, you're going to move on to other things until the negation is ready to be taken. Number 2, work parentheses from inside to out. But what do I have as step 0? Step 0 is what you get started with every time. Step 0 is fill the values directly below any statement name. Remember, the statements are like P as well as Q. I didn't say P and Q because of its relationship to P or Q, but P as well as Q will function here. So if I have a P or Q, oh, that was dumb of me, but we're not in a huge degree of difficulty here. I've got A or B like that. I'm going to switch up these things now to what they should be. Since I had those going with P, I might as well stay with P and Q. Everywhere that's a A is going to be a P, and everywhere that's a B is going to be a Q, and it's going to be lowercase. P, Q, that's a P. B is a Q. This is P and Q. And that's not P. See, not or the reverse of the negation of P or Q. When we have parentheses, we have to work our way from inside out. That is true. That's how we're going to decide what order to do things in. But that is not the top priority. Top priority is to reverse a value as soon as possible. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to write these in as step number 1. Let's see. I'm going to call it step 0, and I'm going to do it in green to get us going. Perfect. This is a 0, this is a 0. Because it's a P or a Q, I'm going to put a 0 over it, which means I do it as foundational, establishing the work that I want to do. I'm going to do this one first. Those others are the second and third values we want to receive and get done. Here's what happens. Step 0 is fill in what's under P or under Q. Every P is TTFF, so I go TTFF directly under the presence of the name P. TF goes right under any Q. I want to get this one done all the way. Second step is, can I take the negation yet? What am I negating? I would negate whatever the parentheses make for me. The parentheses haven't made anything for me yet, so I don't have just one value to negate. I need to deal with what's in the parentheses, which is and. And is right here. Number 1, I'm doing P and Q. And P and Q is, are they both true to be true? Are these both true? Yes. Are these both true? No. Are these both true? No. Are these both true? No. I didn't ask if they're the same as each other. I asked if they were both true. Now what happens is I lightly scratch out the zeros that I just used. I can still see them, but they're out. Now what I have to do is take the negation of what is still in play, which is a single value. You take the negation as soon as it is of a single value, not of P and Q. That's two things. Figure out what P and Q create. They give me this blue column, and I'm going to reverse every one of these blue things. Reverse true to false, reverse false to true, reverse false to true, reverse false to true. This is my answer because that's the highest number that I got to when I did here step 2. These are not ordered steps. These are processes that we go through. When we reach our final processed step and there's no more worlds to conquer, no more columns to deal with, then we're done. I can lightly cross out this, and what happens is all the zeros go in, and then I start saying, what should I do first? Are there any negations I can take right now? If not, let me do what the parentheses have. And then if the parentheses are done, can I take negations then? You just saw that happen. Do the parentheses and negate what it created. Now we look at this one. Zeros for P. P's are TTFF, so I'll go T, T, F, F, and where the Q's are is TF, TF. Those are step zeros. Those are establishing what we're going to work with. Now I'm going to do step 1. And you could start with 1 instead of 0, but 0 is locked in. If it's a letter, fill it with its values. Can I take this negation of a single value right now? The answer is yes, therefore I must. So number 1 step is to negate this column one at a time. Reverse T to F, reverse F to T, reverse T to F, reverse F to T. And now that one has been used up. The P is not used up yet. This is still in play. It hasn't done any contributing to anything else yet. So that was a simple, and what's going to happen is when you take the negation, it can only be of a single value, so it will not be the negation of a bunch of things. It's let those bunch of things create what they do, come back at me with one number that I can reverse, or one value that I can reverse. Now, this is gone. I do have the FTFT, which I just created, in play, and I have the earlier established TTFF, which I want to do using OR. I have 2 columns, and they're applying an OR. I need at least a T to be true, so I'm going to look at these 2 guys as I do step number 2. And this will be my last step because there are no other columns to conquer. And I'm going to say, is at least one true? Yes. Yes means true. Is at least one true? Yes. Is at least one true? No, that's going to get me an F. Is at least one true? Yes, over here, that's going to get me true. Now, the things that I just used up did their job. Thank you for your service, as they say. And they are done getting me to the point where I'm finished. I'll warn you now that if you look in the way Connect Math does it, they do it the old-fashioned way, the way I learned it first time I did it, which is to determine this, write the whole thing with all the space, and come up with what this is, and then write the whole thing again and bring in that. And it's viable. It gets the same answer, but I like this way because it fits in the space that you have every single time. Let's go for some green. I have 4 green columns to put in here. Anytime I see a P, it's TTFF. So here's a T, TFF. I have another P right there, which is T, TFF. I also have some green Qs, which is TF, TF. And this Q is TF, TF. In each case, there's space between the 2 nearby green columns I just built. Next up, I look over here and I can do a number 1 level thing, which is to find out what's going on in these parentheses. My first pass through, I can also find out what's going on in these parentheses. So I'm going to do this one first, and I'm looking at and. Are they both true? Yes. Are they both true? No. So F. Are they both true? No. So F. Are they both true? No. So F. They do equal each other, but are they both true? No. So this first pass, after I've established the green values, is going to get me that. And I've got another one on my first way across here to see that this is an OR. But actually, my badness, So here comes, yes. That is, I don't have the purple marker of shame with me, so instead we got purple kiwi, and he bops me when I do something wrong. I didn't write it into the list yet, but the rule that's always in play is, can you take a negation of something right away? And yes, I can take this negation of P right now, and I must take it as soon as I can. This is take the opposite of that P. Don't go using the or in the parentheses. Go ahead and find out what is the opposite of this initial P in each case. T reverts to F, T reverts to F, F reverts to T, F reverts to T. Now I only used up there this initial P that was over there in my step 1. Step 2, this pair of parentheses is done and waiting. Step 2 is, let me finish out this pair of parentheses, and I'm taking what survived from taking the negation of P to create this blue column and the original Q's that are still there. And so I'm going to see what happens for these guys when I do an OR. I got this or that is at least one true. OR is at least one true. F and T, F along with T is at least one true. Yes, so T. F and F is at least one true. No, so false. T and T is at least one true. Yes, it's overkill, but still it's true. And T and F is at least one true. Yes, that's true. Now, I get to scratch out here the blue negation of P I created shortly ago, because it's done its job. And this original Q is done. The only stuff left from all that parentheses is the red TFTT. The only stuff left from the original parentheses is this blue TFFF. So I've done that in its order to finally finish up with the red. Done that in its order to finish up with the blue, and they've got an OR going on with the surviving values. Anything scratched out did its job, is out of play. The things that are not scratched out in each row are going to go into action doing OR. OR is at least one true. True. That's true, that's true is at least one true for sure with overkill. That's false is at least one true. No. That's false, that's true is at least one true. Yes, true. That's false, that's true is at least one true. Yes, that's true. And that's the process we'll go through. You can look for more help on this when we get into the homework that deals with it. So that's going to get you set up for that. And I'm actually going to call it for 15B right here and let you go on and work on some of the homeworks that deal with that. And I'm going to move to 15C to do if then.